Can we talk about your snake? Riley is 11. What happens when she enters puberty?
Our plan is to give her the hormone replacement therapy to puberty her body as a girl.
First, Riley will take hormone blockers to essentially stop the testosterone surge in her male body from growing a beard and other masculine characteristics. Then between 14 and 16, she'll start taking estrogen shots to give her body a more feminine appearance. Does Riley understand this?
Riley would want it to start tomorrow. She wants the breast buds that the rest of the girls are getting.
Like her sister, Allie. As we followed the girls, Riley seemed moody, unhappy, and fought a lot with her sister.
Her sister's always been right. Her twin was born with the right body. Her twin's going to get the breasts. She has to hate her sister in order to survive. She has a twin.
But her sister's everything she wants to be.
If you could help people understand, what would you tell them?
I think that I would tell them that being transgendered is not different from any other ordinary family.
Except it is.
So just the cutest little boy ever.
It's rare that Stephanie allows herself to look at pictures of Riley as a boy. Normally they're all hidden. She only looks at them when her trans daughter is not around. If Riley found them, she would destroy them. You are sitting here now exposing something so deeply personal, so deeply painful. Why?
I want Riley to have a good life. And we want people to understand the way she is.
We have to support her, but we don't walk in her shoes. And people who look at her and who know her will, I hope, realize what it takes for her to be her every single day.
Next, a teenage daughter's shocking letter. Dear Mom and Dad, I'm not a girl, I'm a boy. And then the road to transformation for Jeremy, born Rebecca. There is no going back.
That was probably the darkest of all of the times that we went through.
How do you feel when you look back and see pictures of yourself as a girl? You're a pretty girl.
Thank you. I don't really see that. I just see someone whose eyes aren't really smiling.
On September 19th, 2004, 14-year-old Rebecca Singer wrote a startling letter to her parents, Betsy and Peter. By the end, she was no longer Rebecca, but Jeremy.
Dear Mom and Dad, this is one of those stream of consciousness things that I write in the wee hours of the morning. What am I? I ask myself this all the time. Right now, what I believe myself to be is an FTM, or a female-to-male transsexual. A boy in a girl's body.
Betsy, how did you feel?
Shocked, horrified, bewildered. It was an out-of-body experience.
What I want is for you to understand and let me transition into the boy I really am. Thank you for listening. Love, your son.
After years of struggling silently, Rebecca, now Jeremy, began to transform into a boy almost immediately. He cut his hair short, bought male clothing. He began wearing a binder under his clothes, a lycra vest that painfully flattened his breasts.
It's like an undershirt made out of plastic.
You are wearing a binder today.
Mm-hmm.
Are your breasts very large?
Yes. And you want Cheetos? What kind of Cheetos?
Coming out at a progressive school near Los Angeles was uneventful.
Okay.
As a transgendered male, Jeremy was generally accepted by his classmates. But beneath his clothing, Jeremy was a girl in puberty. Menstruating became unbearable. What did you decide to do about the fact that you were physically a girl?
From the time that I found out what it meant to be transgendered, I knew that there were physical changes that I could make. One of them being taking testosterone, the male hormone, and that would deepen my voice and give me facial hair.
But Jeremy's parents were cautious. He could dress as a boy, but they refused to let him start injecting. Without testosterone, Jeremy felt trapped between genders. Worse, a year after coming out, he fell into a deep depression when he discovered that his mother still hoped for her daughter to return.
That was probably the darkest of all of the times that we went through, the many, many talks that we had. And he said to me, "Mom, you still don't see me as male."
And you said what?
I admitted it. It was true.
That was hard to hear. And the thing is that I don't really want to be seen as trans. I want to be seen as male.
Jeremy, I heard that there was a point in which you cut yourself.
I needed some way to get out this anger that I felt towards myself and towards the world for having done whatever it had done to me. And physically hurting myself helped me to let go of some of that.
What was he cutting?
I don't feel comfortable talking about this, okay?
For the singers, the threat of losing their child crystallized the urgency Jeremy felt to masculinize his body. Last year, Jeremy, then 16, began injecting testosterone.
Jeremy was a clear-cut case. He came in completely ready. The testosterone was just really the next step for him. Did you change your hair color?
No, not the color.
Dr. Joe Olson specializes in adolescent medicine at Children's Hospital Los Angeles and treats dozens of transgender children like Jeremy. Thanks to hormone therapy, Jeremy now shaves, his voice is deeper, and his body looks more masculine. But what about the other children we've met tonight? What will happen to them?
If you're a biological male, for example, the idea of getting a beard and getting underarm hair and a larger penis, that's terrifying for you.
This is exactly what Riley Grant can expect as a male to female transgender, a 10-year-old who is on the cusp of puberty. Experts are divided about when to give hormone therapy, but a growing number believe that early intervention is the best choice. Soon, Riley's doctor will give her hormone blockers to suppress her natural testosterone surge. Then in a few years, she'll start to take estrogen, or what is called a cross hormone.
The estrogen allows them to get breast development, which is irreversible, and it allows redistribution of body fat in the breast and the hips. There's a couple things that we cannot affect, unfortunately. We cannot affect voice pitch in biological males, and we can't affect the Adam's apple, so a lot of people do get surgery to get that shaved down.
But hormone therapy comes with risks. For Riley, taking estrogen increases her chances of getting breast cancer, and cross hormones also could render transgender teenagers sterile. Then there's the question of if and when to have sex reassignment surgery. Eventually, does Riley want to have the penis removed?
Riley would have it done tomorrow.
Tomorrow is further down the road for 6-year-old Jazz Jennings. Her parents also say they would allow their trans daughter to surgically remove her penis, but most doctors will not operate until the age of consent, 18. Although surgery is expensive and not covered by insurance, Jeremy says he hopes to have his breast removed before he goes to college. For now, surgery below the waist to create an artificial penis is not an option, he says.
What do you say to a parent watching who says, is my child gay, feminine, masculine, or transgender?
You have to look at your child and look into their heart and support them and just follow their lead. Because your child is who they are, and you should love them for who they are.
There are no numbers on just how many transgender children exist. We do know that they are rare, but more and more parents have embraced them. In one internet support group alone, there are 400 families. No longer isolated, many are connecting at transgender conferences like this one in Philadelphia.
You stupid homosexual man, woman. What are you doing in this school? You don't belong here.
In workshops, these transgender children share stories of pain and embarrassment from relentless teasing and bullying back home.
Well, she knows about me being transgender, and she knows about the bullying, but she hasn't done anything.
Here, these children are safe to be themselves, but in the outside world, transgender children are often victims of discrimination and hate crimes. You're both scared?
Yes.
Of what someone might do to her?
Oh, yes, definitely. Yes. You know, could you read it in the paper? You see it in the media all the time.
It's a mean world.
Perhaps most devastating can be rejection by their own families.
The worst thing you can do to your kid is say, I don't love you because of who you are. That's a horrible, horrible message for your kid, and it's going to lead them down a road of catastrophe, really.
In fact, a study by San Francisco State University confirms that trans children rejected by their families are 4 times as likely to attempt suicide and use illegal drugs, and twice as likely to become HIV infected. But for those accepted by their parents, these risks were dramatically reduced.
You know, I feel bad for parents that can't give that to their children. Some of them just can't put aside their own bigotry or feelings or enough to say, it doesn't matter, I love you if you're gay, lesbian, transgender. Why should it matter? This is your child.
No one can imagine what these special children must go through every day to be who they are. They and their families struggle to simply be accepted. What if one day your child said, I am in the wrong body? Could they accept it? Could you?